It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. Yo, man. Boom, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the public access podcast here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. You can check out other great shows on this network, such as When the Gloves Come Off, the Thinking Man's Pro Wrestling Podcast, This Is It with Lizzie, and Saved by the Ben. And guess what? I co-host all of them. So, they're going to be good. And the show is brought to you by Stoner Eats Productions, Fred Ben Savage as Fuck, Hardcore Entertainment, Hypnosis is Great, and suckemup.org. And today, I have on someone, a local to me now, because now, I can't stay still, just like in real life. I can't sit still. So always somewhere new. And so this is somebody that is close by in my vicinity. So I'm going to bring her on here, right now. And we have Joann Dunsing right here. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you, Rusty?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Joann?
I am well. I'm loving the temperature we've got here today. It's cool.
It is. It's pretty nice. It felt good going outside, and I mean, yeah, I can handle this. I'm not out burning up, and it's not muggy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been weird. So before this, I was living in Utah, where there's no humidity, but I mean, from June until October, it's 100 degrees every day, pretty much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, 4,200 feet elevation, so just nothing but sun, but no humidity. And then I come in here and it's like, okay, well, yeah, it was. I mean, I was in Minnesota before that, so I got humidity all right. I definitely figured out what that one is, and but yeah, it's nice here. It's not terrible humidity. So so are you out closer to the coast then, or I mean, nothing's too far from the coast, I guess, here.
This is true. Well, my office is located in Milford on New Haven Avenue. So, the water is what, less than a 5-minute drive from here. So we
Oh.
tend to get a nice breeze here, even though, we're a little more in than right on the water. The temperature is, the breeze, there's usually a breeze here. So I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've definitely been enjoying the coastal life. I haven't really got to do that before, so it's pretty all right. And so then okay, so the I don't know if I guess you call it the coastline. It's not, you wouldn't call it a beach, or would you call it a beach by where you are, or like?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
okay.
they're called beaches, and I've been watching serious beach erosion
Oh,
in
yeah.
West Haven. Yeah, in West Haven in particular. And it's just wild because I remember when the beach was big, right? And
Yeah.
in West Haven, there's areas where I don't even think they call it beach anymore because it's gotten so small. So it's interesting to watch the coastline here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Oregon, so we don't call them beaches out there. It's just a bunch of coastline, and it's like, oh, there's the ocean, and then it's not the ocean anymore. But yeah, it's pretty nice. So what I heard is you need to kind of go up more towards Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the coastline, and kind of the further away from the city you get, kind of the better as far as coastline goes. Is that something
Yeah,
that is correct?
I would say that is correct. Absolutely. Rhode Island is beautiful.
Uh,
Oh, the air is nice. There's more of a breeze. There's more of a beach.
yeah, I was out there a few weeks ago out in Rhode Island, and yeah, it was pretty nice out there. I liked it. Went out in the water for a little bit. And,
Ooh, you did, you
um,
brave soul, you. Nothing bit your
yeah.
toes. I'm like, no,
Oh
don't
no,
make
no,
me
no,
go in the water.
not in the water. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. I was in a boat. Um, in a boat. I okay. Maybe end of August, I'll go in the water for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and that's it. I mean, I'm used to the mountain runoff rivers to
oh,
be in, and I mean, people go in them in May when it starts to get 90-degree days, and people are in there. But then the water is, it's pretty cold, and
oh,
you're not catching me in cold water. So
the
I'm all right
rivers.
with that.
Ooh, I remember a little river when I was much younger. So tell me about rivers because I have heard it said that 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 the river is constantly changing. I've heard it said that we never step into the same river twice because it's always moving. Tell me about
Yeah.
rivers.
Well, yeah, I'd assume that'd be the case. So I lived when I grew up next to, besides, I want to say, is it the Amazon? I think it's the Amazon. There's only two rivers in the world that run north.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think one's the Amazon, then the other is the Willamette River. And that goes up, I guess, yeah, between the coast and the Cascade Mountains through Oregon and over and on the West Coast. And but yeah, then it flows into the Columbia that goes along the border between Oregon and Washington, and that flows out to the ocean. But yeah, it was always kind of a gross river. It was always, you don't want to swim in that river because um so a lot of it comes up from the Willamette Valley, which is a bunch of farmland, and so you got a lot of uh, farm waste and stuff flowing up through there, and so and then yeah, and also in Portland they dump a bunch of, or they used to dump a bunch of stuff in there, so it's always been kind of a dirty kind of a river, but yeah, I mean they're always ever changing. There's always the water's always moving. It's not like you're living by a lake, which I won't go into a lake. Uh, I even the healing waters of Lake Minnetonka, I would not get anywhere near. I'm not. I don't want to sit. It's like being in a bathtub or a hot tub that hasn't been changed for
Ew.
however many years, and I was like, yeah, I'm good on that one. The water needs to be moving. So, but so are you from then Connecticut? Is that your?
Yeah, I born and raised here, and outside of the cost, I'm okay with it. I always felt like Connecticut has everything. Anything
Yeah,
you want, Connecticut's got it. And the state is so small, Rusty, that if you're not finding what you want in Connecticut, well, just go to a next state over. Go to New York. You want the city, you
yeah,
know? I
yeah.
think Connecticut's got everything. And then we've got all of the weather that's constantly changing, and our seasons are kind of unseasonable. Like today, it's pretty cool out there.
Fine
I
with
love
that.
it. I love it.
Yeah,
And people say that people in Connecticut aren't friendly. Well, I think it depends on what town you go to. In
and
Milford, they're pretty friendly, but if you go further down to a particular town that I won't mention in Fairfield County, the people are not so nice. But if you go in the very next town, the people are wonderful. And that's really so much about what I do love about Connecticut is
yeah,
there's so much diversity. And we get to choose. We get to choose where we want to hang out, how we want to hang out, right?
yeah. yeah, it's nice having everything so close. And I mean, I don't know, I do enjoy being out away from the cities and kind of more in a rural setting. But even in a rural setting, it's nothing is that far. I mean, uh, even like kind of, I guess, northwest and northeast of Hartford. It's all just, I mean, you tell people that there's farmland in Connecticut, and they're like, oh. When people say Connecticut, everyone thinks of yeah, certain town, maybe, and yeah, everyone has one certain stereotype of Connecticut. And it's, well, it's not quite. I mean, if you want to think that, it's great. It's one of those things like, please keep thinking, and that's the thing. And back in Oregon, there was a saying, um, but it's changed since. I think it was visit but don't stay. And I always like that one. And it's nice. Like, you gotta make it think that it's not. It's yeah, it's a good place. But and then yeah, I lived here 35 years ago. I moved here 35 years, or moved away from here 35 years ago. And it's weird coming back, and then yeah, going and went and drove over by where I used to live a few months ago, and that was interesting. And
Ooh. What town
yeah,
did you grow up in?
I grew up in New Fairfield,
New Fairfield. So
which is,
going there,
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, it was, yeah. And then whenever I say that, I get looks when I tell people that that's where I lived. There's always looks with that one. So, but then yeah, where I lived in Oregon is kind of the same thing. But it was cool. So I went to um one of the first things I like looking for when I move somewhere is a good grocery store. And it's important to me. And I don't know if it's something in my blood or what. And so hmm, I went to Stu Leonard's, and I told my mom this, and she said, "Oh yeah, we used to go there all the time as a kid. You love that place." And so maybe that was just something that was in my head. And yeah, I mean, that what other place has animatronics inside of a grocery store? And that food there is pretty great. So I'm I was pretty happy with that. And so I end up going there pretty often, like doing my shopping there. So
See, that's sweet. It's like the memory cells, right? You go, oh, it must be something I had in my head. Oh, you had it in much more than your head. You had it in every part of your being, Rusty. You walk in there, and memory cells are like, oh my gosh, I love this place. I remember this place. And you get that good feeling, right? And
yeah,
then you could have walked into a different grocery store, and it could have been like, this is not the store for me. Doesn't feel good. I'm leaving here. And you go, what the heck, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why am I here? And yeah, I thought, okay, yeah, this is gonna be my place. I'm gonna go. And yeah, something I didn't know. And it's one of those things, you're it's in your subconscious memory, and that thing never turns off. It's always listening, always taking information in.
You're so right about that. Every split second of our life goes to our subconscious, right? Because it's our operating system. So there we may be at some point in our life, maybe 40 years old, and maybe saying to somebody, I don't know why I do this. I've done this my whole entire life. So maybe 40 years old, running on a 6-year-old program. And then this is where the change comes in, where you go, well, wait a minute now. I'm 40. I've been doing this my whole life, and I'm not loving it anymore. So then we can create a new habit. But we've got these programs, right?
Right,
But we can create new programs. And people, that's part of what I'm passionate about, right?
right.
Is You're really not stuck. I remember back in the day when we had records, and I hear they've come back, and the needle would get stuck, and my father would be yelling, Joe, move it, move it, move it. And I was like, what do you mean, Daddy? And he's like, don't you hear that record? It's stuck. And it was like, oh no, I didn't notice. Why wouldn't I notice? Because I was probably thinking about something or reading something or creating something, right?
Right.
But that was something my father was conscious of. So we become conscious of these habits and patterns that we have, and we can change them. We can change them. We can create new habits and new patterns. But yes, every split second of our life is there. Every program we ever received. Oh my gosh, I could remember my son is 33 now and my daughter is 31. And my son and I were at the mall. He was probably a teenager, young teenager. So the two of us are at the mall. We go to get onto the escalator. And he looks over at me and he says, do you see what you have done to me? What are you talking about? He goes, look at how we are not getting on the escalator. I was like, oh my gosh, Josh, this is hysterical. We're standing there, pull a foot up and hesitate and pull back. I go, this is what my mother did. When I was a kid, I would go to get on the elevator at the Trumbull Mall, and my mother would be like, wait a minute, Joe, wait a minute. Are your shoes tied? Yeah, Mom, my shoes are tied. Oh, wait a minute, Joe, hold on. Wait a minute. And it was always like this. So there I am, this adult with a teenage boy who is so incredible. And he's saying, look what you did to me. No, I'm like, oh my gosh. So unconscious, right?
Right. And yeah, and stuff like that is going to obviously stick. And yeah, you just don't
Don't
know it. Just, okay, this is something that I picked up, and but it's
one day,
never too late.
it's never too late. And one day, when we were all living together, my daughter was in her late 20s. She's 31 now. And she was packing a bag to go out. And she looks over at me and she says, do you see what I'm doing here? And I'm like, no. She goes, you did this to me. You got to love my kids, right? You did this to me. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I just checked my bag like 3 times. I'm like, and that's a problem? You have everything, don't you? When you get there, you don't have to worry about, oh, I forgot. So habits, patterns, right? We pick
Right.
them up in our environment, and we get grabbed by the heightened negative emotions, right?
Right.
Yep.
Those ones are the ones that they're gonna hit you. And you don't know it. You don't know it until it hits you again.
Right. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm feeling this way. I can't believe I'm right. But there we are, right?
Right.
Stuck in a remembered tragedy, fear, whatever it might be. And then people live stuck for years and years and years and years. So much of what I believe is that when we want to make change, when we want to kind of move out of those stuck states, we've got to attach heightened emotions, because it's the heightened negative emotions that grab us. So then let's attach some heightened good emotions to what it is that we want as we are moving out of that old habit, old pattern that is like stored in every part of our being. And the survival brain is like, don't do that. Remember when? It's like, it only happened once. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's even like which I don't really, I don't know. I try not to do it often, but the stop smoking. And I mean, that's one thing that I don't know. And that's one of those things that everyone thinks of whenever they think of hypnosis. And it's just, I usually end up doing an eye roll of, okay, well, there's a lot more than that. But then that one is very much, centered on that with there's with the really bad and hook it with something with that. And then to the, what can be the really good, and, put that together. And, but then, yeah, then it's just, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. If someone else telling you want to do it, you don't want to do it. It's I can't tell how many people I've hung up on, or not hung up on, but just, they're like, I kind of want to stop smoking. Or my significant other wants me to stop smoking. I'm like, well, do you want to stop smoking? No. Okay. Well, don't feel bad about it. Keep smoking. If you ever want to stop, give me a call. You know my phone number. Bye. It's
You're
just,
so right.
I don't, don't feel bad about what it is. It's only when you want to change that you can start feeling bad about anything of your anything that's you're doing. But then when you start feeling bad about it, then go change it. It's not just go. It's not difficult. It's you're the only one that can make you do it. You can I can't lead you to water.
Mhm.
You got to drink. You're drinking already. You're telling me if you're drinking. I'm just here along for the ride. I'm taking you where you need to go. But yeah,
That's
so
right. That's right. So you're talking about the want to, right? Somebody has to want to. So I get those phone calls from people who smoke and they're like, part of me wants to quit, a part of me doesn't want to quit. And I'm like, right, that's the human experience. It's the way it works with so much of what we do, right?
right,
So they come in and we start talking about the want to. What is the want to, right? And what is the not want to? Well, Joanne, I really don't want to stop smoking because I really enjoy it. Yeah, I bet you do. What do you enjoy about it, right? Well, Joanne, I go outside, I sit on my back porch, I watch the trees and the squirrels. I'm like, yeah. And do you have children? They go, yeah. I was so when your children are there, do you say to them, hey, let's go outside and enjoy ourselves, and bam, here's your cigarette? Of course not. So you can still go out there on your back porch and you can still watch the trees and the squirrels. It is an emotional attachment. This is enjoyment. The enjoyment is not in sucking in the toxins. The enjoyment is not in lighting your money on fire. The enjoyment is not being an outcast, having to literally go out to smoke, right?
right.
So there's those emotional attachments, and we all have reasons why we do the things that we do, and they can be very illogical. But where's the logic, right? So yeah, you enjoy it. You enjoy the ritual, the habit, the pattern, the belief system. Well, cigarettes help me to relieve stress. Okay, and why are you here? Because your health, because the cost. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. So we just keep on playing around with it, right? We're building up more and more of what we want. I'm choosing because I want. When I went gluten free back in 2013 to get my health back, I cried. When that doctor told me, I told you I would find out what was wrong. She said, you become sensitive to gluten, blah, blah, blah. I sat there and I cried. And she was like, oh my God, you're misunderstanding me. You don't have to do this. I'm just telling you what to do to get your health back. She said, you get to choose. I went, I get to choose? And she said, yeah. I said, now I'm on board because I'm going to do it my way. I'm not going to go 100% because that was emotionally devastating for me. I am naturally underweight. I would eat Wendy's 9 o'clock at night. I'm putting weight on my body. I'm all proud of myself because I'm not going to burn those calories, right? I would plan my Subway subs. I would plan my pasta to put weight on my body. Now, the things that right? So
Right.
she says, no, you get to choose. So I said, okay. So I did. I just cut back like 20% on things and a little bit. And within days, I was feeling better. Within days. And that's so much of what happens with the smoking habit as well. Just within like 3 days, people can notice a difference. It's amazing how quickly the body can begin to change because it's getting the oxygen that it needs for the life force. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, once you're past that third day, you're good. You might have a little something in you telling you something on the sixth day, but it's just something in your head and you just, yeah, I don't need that. And then you're good. And once you're past day 6, you're fine. Once you're past day 1, you're fine, but day 3 and day 6 are usually a little something, but you're already past the physical part. It's just in your head now. And then that's when it's on you. You gotta do it. You gotta do it how you want.
Yep. And you're right. It's in your head, right? The habit, the pattern. It's like, it's like 8 in the morning. You're making your coffee. Where's your cigarette? Survival brain going, oh, what are you
Right.
doing? You're like not in the norm over here. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it's like, that's where the different conversation comes in, because we're going to have a conversation anyways, right? So
Right.
rather than the resistance, having a conversation of, I hear you, I see you, I know we used to do that. We don't do that anymore. We're just enjoying our coffee. And look, we're going to sit in the living room in the comfortable chair. We're going to watch the news. That's what we do now. It's a different conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
People resist, right? It's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And it's like, I see you, I hear you. It's okay. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah. You don't have to go stand out in the rain and try to smoke, or being at the beach and having the wind smoke 3/4 of your cigarette. You gotta sit inside and you gotta be comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. Seems like a good deal, huh?
That's
And
right. That's right. And the same thing with food, right?
right.
People who, people who want to lose weight, right? I had this woman in my office the other day. I know her. She's gorgeous. And she blows my mind. She's gorgeous. She's smart. And she grabbed at her stomach and she said, "Look at this." And I said, "I noticed." She goes, "Oh my God, you noticed?" I said, "Well, of course I noticed." So she says to me, "It's wheat belly." I said, "Okay, so you can continue eating your wheat if you want to. It's entirely up to you. What do you want to do?" And it ended up, I was like, "You know what, babe? You want a magic wand. You got to work your magic on the inside. Your magic on the inside is like this. I'm choosing to eat the foods that are enabling this body to lose its inflammation, to feel better, to have more energy. But you can continue adding to your wheat belly if you want to." So she knows she has a sensitivity. Just cut back a little. You make pasta for your family, you want to have it that night, have it. And then you got to love it, right? Yeah, but they want it every night. Well, then eat it every night if you want to. Like you were saying before, Rusty. It's up to you. You let me know
Yeah.
what you want and I'll help you get there.
Right. And so then sometimes though, especially with the weight loss, uh I don't know, sometimes gets into deeper um stuff to address.
Mhm.
uh and I don't know, I don't want to know a percentage of what it's been. Probably 90 of what I've experienced in my time has been some underlying, and it's usually something they don't know about either.
That's right. You are
And
right. You are right, Rusty. Keep going.
I mean, that's the hard part. That it's just like, I want to come in, I want to lose weight. Why? Why do you want to lose weight? What is it? Well, you tell me why you want to lose weight. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, let's, and then, I mean, even going in right then and just going in their head, and it doesn't take too long to find some nugget that, oh, this is why I want to lose weight, because this happened to me when I was 9,
Yep.
and I didn't realize how impactful it was. My subconscious took it in, but I blocked that out because of how devastating that was to me. But here it is. I'm 50. and I have this urge to lose weight and I don't know why. And
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and then some people will use, on an unconscious level, using that weight as a protection barrier, right? Like they don't want
mhm,
to be attractive. And the truth is, and I tell this to my clients all the time, because we've got to get into the fears. We've got to get into what's going on inside your head, because it's really not about the food.
right.
And I'll get clients talking about it. I'm like, but yeah, but who would you be if you lost 20 pounds? Like, how would your life change? And like, like, tell me. And they're like, well, I
Yeah.
really don't want to date, and I really don't want, people to be attracted to me. I'm like, I got to tell you something. No matter what your weight is, there are people out there who are crazy about you, regardless of your weight. So then this is puncturing delusions, right?
Right.
Puncturing delusions. The
Like that.
delusion of, well, if I lose 20 pounds, then I'll be attractive. Well, girlfriend, you are attracted to whoever it is that is attracted to you, regardless of your weight. Puncturing delusions. People say, oh, I can't stop my mind. Right, because you are alive. And let's be alive and well. And let's have a different conversation with that mind. And what is it that it's trying to tell you? And what is it that it needs? And you've got anxiety. Okay, great. So like look around and just, verify the fact that you are safe. Okay, I am safe. And even like place your hand right here because it's calming to the body, interrupting the physiology of anxiety. And it's like, okay, how are you feeling now? You verify that you're safe. We've interrupted the physiology. We're literally calming every part of your being. Where's the anxiety now? You still have it, but it's not at the forefront. It's okay to have anxiety and do life, but let's bring it down where life can be done easier. Even though I have anxiety, I can still live a full life. Yeah. Oh, puncturing all delusions. If and only when. No, right here, right now. Let's step into this incredible life you've been given, because the truth is the human experience, it's messy, it's confusing, but it's awesome and it's awe-inspiring, right? Oh my
Right.
gosh. And it's
Yeah.
a roller coaster ride, and there's never a dull moment. Planet Earth, imperfect people living on an imperfect planet, giving giving birth to imperfect children. Then we get to put all of our imperfections on them, and then they become teenagers and go, "Look, mom, look, you did this." But this is life on planet Earth, and
Right.
and puncturing the delusion of the way that things should be, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And how much of the stuff can get like into your DNA, which is wild. And um, so I was under the impression that it was maybe only 2 or 3 generations that it really ends up affecting, but turns out I'm way off, and I was seeing at least 15, if not more. And I mean, just like why am I afraid of heights? Or why am I afraid of spiders? Or like I don't know, but then there's something. Or why am I afraid that someone's going to attack me? Or and just holding on to those things that this just is mind blowing. That then that gets passed on, not just from observation of your children, but from actually ingrained in your DNA.
That's right.
And I mean, just to, yeah, be able to, I mean, like, yeah, before you have a kid, like, just, I mean, one thing, going and taking care of one thing that has affected you can, change your DNA, which is so crazy and just so impactful. So much what just of what an hour and a half can do to your life.
You're not kidding. You are not kidding, Rusty. And you know, this fear of heights, we're born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds. So yeah, we're going to be afraid of heights because we're born with a fear of falling.
Right.
So again, you know, it's not about the food, it's about this relationship, it's about this thought. Same thing with the heights thing. We're really afraid of falling, but it's in our DNA, it's in our survival brain, right?
Right.
My sister cracks me up. She's a bit older than I am, and she's got a son, and he's in his 50s now. And my sister has always like had a fear of spiders. Okay, my nephew is a big guy. He's big boned, he's tall, he's a big guy. Well, my sister moved, you know, a few months back, and her and her son, my nephew, this big guy, were in the garage moving stuff, and there was a spider. She says, "Oh my God, Mom, he screamed like a, I mean, Joann, he screamed like a girl. He screamed like a girl." She goes, "I couldn't believe it." I go, "Well, did you kill the spider?" She goes, "No, no." I'm like, oh my God. So here's this big guy, right? This
Right.
big guy. I see a spider inside. Oh, my shoe is off, and I'm just like whacking that thing. It's like, hell no, you can't live here. Oh, no, 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 no. So my big guy, but he's got this fear of spiders because my sister, his whole life, his whole entire life. So, and you're right, generations back, because I've done some deep, deep, deep work, you know, where I've gone to see my hypnotist, and we've done some serious deep work. And in my sessions, I'll often do what I call dialoguing in hypnosis. It's really root work. And it is so beautiful. And I love when I get somebody who says, you know, I don't think that, you know, I can relax. I'm like, okay, you know, close your eyes only if you want to. Only if you want to, or you can keep them open if you want to. I've had people who keep them open sometimes, right? And then their eyes are like, so people relax because I'm about the level of relaxation that's right for you. I'm not going to be shaking somebody's arm and yelling deeper, deeper. I don't work like that. It's
Right.
all about what's right for each individual. And in that relaxed state of hypnosis, we begin having a conversation with the subconscious. And it is so beautiful. Maybe somebody wants to go on a vacation and there's heights involved, and they've got this fear of heights. And in hypnosis, we're talking back and forth with that part, or we might be doing age regression. I remember I had a particular client, and first time we did age regression, bam, she went back to the age of like 2.5. And it was a Christmas thing. She talked about what dress she had on, and she talked about, of course, what her mother did, right?
Right.
Yeah. So in hypnosis, we took care of it with her older, wiser self. We went to that little girl. She spoke to that little girl in the language that was right for her. We brought in the understanding of mom was doing the best as she could do. There was no intention of harm. We have a different dialogue, right? And then
Right.
people come out of hypnosis, and sometimes they don't remember anything, sometimes they do. But one thing for sure, change has taken place on a cellular level, Rusty.
Right.
If we had the brain scan hooked up, if we had the heart monitor hooked up during those sessions, we would see the most tremendous activity taking place in the brain. We would see the breakthroughs, and then we might see something lulling. And then if we had the brain scan, I'd be like, okay, what the hell were you thinking? We had this phenomenal breakthrough, and then bam, what were you thinking? Well, I was thinking, would they like me if I really make that change? Oh, well, no wonder why you were looking down there, because you were.
Yeah.
So the changes take
Right.
place on a cellular level. I had this one guy, I got to
Which,
tell you, 50-ish, right?
yeah.
Came to me first session. I do a complimentary phone consultation and he didn't talk much. So I thought, okay, maybe he doesn't have liberty. Maybe somebody's in the room. So he comes in and he wanted to lose 50 pounds. So I noticed on his form, anxiety and depression. And I said, okay, do you see a psychiatrist for your medications? Yes. What does your psychiatrist say about your weight? He said, my psychiatrist said, I lack satiation. You lack satiation. Okay. In the first session, I've got this man experiencing the emotion of satiation, right? In the first
Right.
session. And he's realizing now on a conscious level, whoa, it's not about the food. It's an emotion. And then I also talk with my weight loss clients about creating an eating lifestyle that is right for them. Weight Watchers is right for some people. We need a strategy, right? So it comes
Absolutely.
back second session, says, Joann, I lost 4 pounds. I put myself back on Weight Watchers because that's the strategy that works for me. And can I tell you, I've been so satiated. I said, please do. He talked about being outside, taking a vigorous walk with his dogs. And that was so satiating because he wanted to move his body more. And he was aware of the beauty of the day. I'm like, that's right. And he went on and he told me other things. And it's like, yeah, you're just being filled up with life, aren't you? Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
yeah, pretty amazing.
Oh,
And and just and even how much and more it's it's tough. I mean, with psychiatrists and everything, it's well, 6 years, maybe every month or every week you go in and it's what 38% effective for what's done in hypnosis. One session, 93% effective, and
yeah.
that's I mean, it just gets you right then, and yeah, I don't know, like I was so bad in school. I didn't care. I didn't want any of that. Nothing. But yeah, hypnosis just it spoke to me,
Wow.
and I thought it was all fake. I thought it was like a magic show. Like I was just someone that's in on the joke. And then the first day that I went to training and I got hypnotized, and I said, okay, well, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Okay, this is great. And I kept saying, hypnosis is great. Hypnosis, and I wouldn't shut up about it, and I still don't. And then yeah, that's how I got the name for my company. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's amazing.
I
It's life
agree.
changing. Yeah,
Oh,
and like that. One day, I mean, and yeah, I mean, I'd say this a lot, and then like for um for PTSD, I don't charge for PTSD. That's the one thing I won't charge for. And I like using the like get him and do like a desensitization, like rapid desensitization. We're getting in on these words here. But and just let it go, and just because sometimes they think they're coming in for one thing, but then again, it's something that was well before that. It's like, oh, that was something that happened like 3 years ago. It's like, okay, but when I was 12, this happened, and all just watching their face with their eyes closed, and then just you see that moment when they open their eyes and they're like, oh, okay. And like you just have to experience it one more time. It's gonna happen anyway, sometime in your life, and you're gonna be in a spot where you're not gonna be calm and half asleep. Uh and not half asleep, but and like it's such a relaxed state that and then plus you're going to be living in uh, living off adrenaline, making dumb decisions because you're in flight or flight mode
Yeah.
for at all times, just waiting for this thing to come back and get you. Just waiting, knowing that what it's going to do, but yet not proactively taking any action on it and just waiting for it. And just you can just get it done in an hour and a half and not
Wow.
have to worry about that anymore.
Wow. You are good. And you talk about psychiatry. Psychiatry has its place. I believe pharmaceuticals have their place. They can really help us to get into a more regulated state so then we can move out of that stuck state, right?
Right.
And that PTSD stuff is pretty serious because the survival brain. Don't let that happen again. Watching out, watching out, watching out. I've had veterans of war in my office, and they're like, Joann, I might get triggered, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. That's what you do, not a problem. So
Yep.
then, and I instruct them. So if you get triggered, you just open your eyes. Say, Joann, I'm triggered. So this one guy in particular, so he'd open up his eyes and he'd go, I'm triggered. I go, okay, look around, verify. Are you safe? Yes, I'm safe. What town are you in? I'm in Milford. What state are you in? Connecticut. Look around again. Are you safe? I'm safe. And the eyes close. And it's like, oh my gosh. Because we just have to sometimes give a different signal and not be hijacked, by it, but to have that different conversation. But we've got to verify the truth is I am safe, and bringing in physical, like just placing the hand, in this area, it is so calming, so very calming. So again, interrupting that physiology, not denying reality. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna, and he would open his eyes sometimes 2, 3 times. And by the third time, he would just smile and close his eyes. And it's okay. I lead yoga nidra, and I love yoga nidra. As far as I'm concerned, yoga nidra is like a whole nother level of hypnosis. The mechanism of the relaxation, it's just layering and layering and layering, and the releasing and relaxing that takes place in the nervous system is so amazing. And the Veterans Hospital in West Haven has a yoga nidra class. So, but what's
Cool.
important about that though is instructors need to let people know you might get triggered, and it's okay if you do. So open your eyes, you can stand up, you can look around, and I'm always telling my clients, if at any time you want to open your eyes, you can open your eyes, right?
Right.
So again, it's not that resisting, oh my God, it's like, okay, this is happening, and it happens, and I am safe.
Yeah. And what a better place to have it happen. I mean, when you're that relaxed and you get to experience it. And um yeah. And I mean, I heard, I don't know, I was talking with a buddy about um when the stuff happens, or something like that happens, or if you're you know doing some hallucinogenic something or other, and something happens, something negative happens, to not just, it's something that you need to take care of. It's like something that's coming in there that's like, don't fight it. It's something that obviously needs to be worked on, and
Mhm.
just face it kind of head on, and just not knowing what's going to happen, but then being in that state where just you're it's the optimal place for you to get feeling better, and be able to change on a cellular level, like you were
Mhm.
talking about, which is, I mean, can affect your whole bloodline. Your whole bloodline is going to
Yes.
be affected in a positive way if you go and you call, you look up Joann anywhere, your whole bloodline can be in a much better place. You can change the whole course of history into, or into the present, into the future. And so when people are going to do that, where are people going to find you to be able to do that?
So my phone number is 203-907-7710. And then my website is my name, JoannDunsing.com. So I'm all over the internet, easy to be reached. There's contact forms at my website, or I could be called. There's also a page that's got FAQs, and on that FAQ page, there's a comparison study that shows with hypnotherapy, 93% recovery after 6 sessions. So many people are in traditional psychotherapy, and understandably so, but many people want something more. They feel like they just aren't getting to where they want to go to. So this can be used as an adjunct along with their regular therapy if they want to. And behavior therapy, 72% recovery after 22 sessions, and psychoanalysis, 38% recovery after 600 sessions. And you have got quite a thing where you're talking 1 session, you don't even charge, and you've got somebody freed up from PTSD. That is incredible.
It's okay to feel great. There's nothing wrong with it.
Hypnosis is great.
Hypnosis is great. Yeah. Joann, thank you so much. And you can spot a hypnotist miles away, because you see that smile on their face, and just how you got to figure it out. And when you hypnotize somebody, you got to feel, you get kind of hypnotized too. So you got to do it enough, you feel all right. And so yeah, so Joann, it was great meeting you, great getting to talk with you, and go out and enjoy today. How are you going to enjoy today?
Thank you, Rusty. Thank you for having me, and
you
enjoy
bet.
your day as well.
All right, thank you. All right, well, take care.
You too. Bye for now.
All right, bye. All right, that was Joann Dunsing. And like I said, yeah, you can always spot a hypnotist. If you want to go back, I've had some other hypnotists on here. I had the person who trained me, Bruce Terrell, on here. I also had Crystal on here. Feel like I had one other person that I was in my class, but I did. And Sharon. So if you go back and look, yeah, Kristen or Sharon or Bruce, all 3 of them, go and check out those episodes here within the last year or so. And yeah, check out Joann. Yeah, hypnosis is cool. It's something, if I wouldn't have stepped in a hole, I would have never found hypnosis. And thank you for that hole, for destroying my body. And yeah, I've made hypnosis. So thank you everyone for listening here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN, with other shows that I co-host, such as When the Gloves Come Off, the Thinking Man's Pro Wrestling Podcast, This Is It with Lizzie, and Saved by the Ben. And this is brought to you by Stoner Eats Productions, Fred Ben Savage as Fuck, Hardcore Entertainment, Hypnosis is Great, and sockemup.org. And that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond Motherfucker.
Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?